Hi, what's up YouTube? Daniel back here for another video. So as you can see from the setup, it's a little weird. I did this on purpose. You will understand why. But yeah, I'm basically sitting on my bed in my room, and you can see there's a red tint in the light of the room. So if you are new to the channel, my name is Daniel, and I essentially share what I've learned over the past 8 years reversing my psoriasis using just food and living drug-free, not depending on the healthcare system, doctors, or even dermatologists to help me with my condition, psoriasis, and I share what I learned over those past 8 years with you and also clients that I work with. So, like I said, uh, I'll get into basically why I have the red light, but essentially I want to go more or less into what I do to, get vitamin D or obtain vitamin D in the winter months. So I live in Canada, and if you don't know about Canada, it's very, very cold. It gets cold in the winter. So last week actually we had 2 days that were -3 degrees. So at 30 degrees Celsius. So I'm not sure what that would be in Fahrenheit if you're watching from the US or other countries that do Fahrenheit. It'd probably be like, I don't know, like zero, maybe even like negative Fahrenheit. But yeah, so essentially getting sun here to get enough vitamin D is basically impossible. And one thing I found out that I'll share afterwards is basically most people are doing it wrong. And I only found this out about like 3 days ago, which is why I have red light, and also share other things that I'm going to start doing the next few days. But essentially, what I used to do, what most people do during the winter here, is they start taking vitamin D supplements. So, vitamin D is, you can do liquid form, you can do pills. I used to do liquid form, so you can do olive oil or coconut oil base because it has to be fat soluble. I wish I could do one for like some kind of like beef tallow because I'm carnivore, but I mean, maybe there's one. I looked into them, but I didn't find any. But anyways, I was doing those. Um, I didn't like supplementation just because there's so many different chemicals that go into certain supplements that were hurting my digestive system, and I always preach doing things with food only. First off, to adjust your biomarkers and see where you're at, but also like not adding extra things because supplement companies obviously it's processed, manufactured. They try to add more things in there, especially like on the capsules, just to make it go faster and quicker and stuff like that. But essentially, I was doing it for a bit. I hated it. So briefly, in the beginning of the winter, which starts here at about, I would say, November. So yeah, I basically tried to do something different and go basically just using it through food. So the biggest sources would be fish. So I believe salmon, mackerel are top two. Or I have to check again. But I was eating a lot of like salmon, mackerel, trout, sardines as well are pretty high, and tuna. And then I also started eating eggs. So egg yolk is also one of the most nutritious things you can eat. If you're not eating that currently, you're missing out on a lot of nutrients. Just the yolk itself, not the egg whites. But anyways, I was basically tired of taking supplements. I knew long term doing that for like 5 months because winter here lasts from November till like March. So yeah, it's just cold. There's no sun. Days end at 5 p.m. Start at about 7 a.m. So you get like less than 12 hours of sunlight a day, and yeah, so I was basically tired of it, and I was like, okay, my skin was kind of reacting a bit to the supplements. I'm like, I'm not doing this long term, so I tried switching. Essentially, it didn't work. I was not getting enough vitamin D, probably because I wasn't absorbing it enough from fish, and also there's a lot of heavy metals in terms of fish. If you're eating fish consistently, it ups your heavy metal content, and I basically at that point didn't know how much heavy metal toxicity I was currently at. Something I'm still have to check, but essentially I was like, okay, there's not a long-term option. I have to find another way to do this. So I went back to vitamin D supplements under against my own will basically, and started doing coconut oil base instead of olive oil base because olive oil base I never reacted well to. So basically, fast forward to now. Basically, why I started the video like this, why we're currently in a red light room, is essentially I'm going to share a video about it because I learned about it through another doctor. I'm not going to take credit for it because I don't like to do that. But essentially, she basically was looking into it in terms of why we have to basically follow the regime of upping our vitamin D levels in the winter. Um, especially when it's more accessible in the summer. And you can also store vitamin D as well, which is something people don't know. It's storable. So basically, what most people should be doing is getting as much as they can in the summer months. And essentially, one thing as well, if you're looking to up your vitamin D and you go on vacation, for instance, which is common for people that live in like colder places, Canada up north, um, they basically like take vitamin D. You could say trip, go to a hot place, get sun, and the dumbest thing that people do is they wear sunglasses the whole time, and basically your eye is one of the most sensitive areas in terms of vitamin D, and I believe it's one of the um, most um, graspable places that actually catches vitamin D. So basically, you're removing one of the key places that can actually grab and hold vitamin D. And obviously, you're not looking at the sun directly. You just have to have you're squinting a lot of it, but you're basically getting a lot of vitamin D exposure there, and also being able to expose your whole body. Like people that go on vacation and wear t-shirts and like stuff like that and pants. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It makes no sense. Like, you're supposed to expose your whole body, especially if you have darker complexion. So, like myself, I have like darker complexion because my mom, she's from Ecuador, so she has a darker skin. I got it from her, and basically, people that have dark complexion are need 3 times more sun um, to get their vitamin D dose. So essentially, when you go on vacation, that's basically the protocol. And you come back and you basically suffer for those few months and take vitamin D pills until summer comes again, which is like a big thing here. It's almost like a event. People are like excited for summer, which is only like 4 months, 4 or 5 months. So there's longer winter than like longer colder months than summer months. But essentially, yeah. So people get ready for the big events, summer, and store up all their vitamin D, and then go back to winter. But anyways, what this doctor found out, which is basically changed my whole winter, is essentially that the vitamin D receptor, and the importance of vitamin D is huge because it boosts basically your immune health, and bone health. It boosts your serotonin production, so it obviously affects your mood as well. Yeah, it fights with like infection. Um, there's other ones I'm trying to remember, but those are like the main ones. So like yeah, better it improves your healing. I think it helps with like digestion as well. So it's actually a hormone, it's not a vitamin. So it's super key that you make this a priority. But essentially, what I'm gonna reveal is basically that she found a study, and basically um, she found that the receptor for vitamin D, which is thought to be just for vitamin D, actually um, is linked to melatonin as well, which is obviously like the sleep chemical. So basically, what she found is that doctors usually they're testing, well, basically supplement companies, which is like $1 trillion company, are always pushing like vitamin D supplements in the winter for people that have like cold months, and basically trying to up their levels of vitamin D, which essentially what she found is you should be doing um, not the opposite, but basically focusing on melatonin. So the reason why I have infrared lights is because that boosts melatonin production, and essentially what happens in the winters, which she explains, which is true, since the light turns off at 5 p.m. Sun basically sets at 5 p.m. People turn on artificial lights until like they go to bed, which is like 8 9 p.m. So basically, they're ruining the production of melatonin during that time. So basically, what I want to start to do, and which I have, my red light here, is basically boost my melatonin production during the winter. So I'm going to, basically not do supplements again. I'm going to go back to, using food, primarily probably eggs, not fish as much, but essentially, you know, try to do try to go left while everyone's going right. So basically, I shared this video on my Instagram. I don't think anyone took it seriously, but this is basically game changing, especially for me because I'm very dependent on vitamin D. Like I said, my darker complexion actually needs more of it. I'm more deficient than most people. So essentially, what I'm going to start doing is basically biohack my winter. So leave this light on most winter. Also, I bought a infrared light, so that helps with people with psoriasis, but also it's good. It's basically like a replacement, I guess you could say, of the properties of the sun. So basically, it's supposed to like improve healing, um, relax, relax you as well for sleep, and also boost melatonin. Another thing as well is she said infrared heating is key. So and basically, if you have heating in colder months, the difference is like conventional heating, all it does is it actually heats the air, it doesn't heat the actual person. So infrared heating is actually able to heat you as a person, like your actual temperature, like body temperature. It doesn't just heat the air, because when you're just heating the air, it doesn't actually like heat you as much as if you get like this old school like heaters that your parents probably had, or your grandparents that you plug in and they're like weigh like fucking 70 pounds, and that's infrared heating. So basically, what that does is that actually gives you proper heat that connects to your body heat, as opposed to like just heating general air. And that also, when you're heating air, it ruins, it basically makes the air, um, like drier as well, which isn't good. Like it loses the humidity of the air, um, and basically for people that have are lacking moisture, especially with like skin conditions, that obviously sucks. You have to have a humidifier, which I have as well. So basically, infrared heating is the way to go. I'm not sure in terms of cost how it would do things with that, but essentially, yeah, it's basically the best way to do it. So essentially, um, I'm gonna basically so boost my melatonin in the winter, which is I suggest you guys to do. I'm gonna link that video so you guys understand more or less how revolutionary this is. Like I'm making a big deal about it because basically everyone's gonna go one way and you're basically going another way. You're doing this all winter, so you're basically biohacking your environment. So make sure to get a red light in your room to boost your melatonin. Also, there's ways to um, you know red light your screens at home, so you're boosting your melatonin even when you're working, and then essentially have a infrared light as well. So buy one. I bought one off Amazon. I was gonna go to one of those spas, but they basically the price per month I paid less for just the whole lamp. So I have that basically the whole winter. So as opposed to paying a monthly fee and having limited access to it, I might as well have it at home, have it running basically most of the day, and then at night I'm gonna have it running, and then have this. So I'm actually pretty excited because, like I said, it's something that no one really knows about, and this study was actually found only in 2022. So we're in 2025, so it's only 3 years old, and obviously most studies are like 50 years old, or even 100. So this is pretty pretty new discovery. So I want to share that quickly for anybody watching that is currently suffering in the winter and they're like, I want to get the fuck out of this system of supplementation, not having any sun, you know sun setting at 5. Like it gets very depressing, and essentially, obviously, like I said, one of the benefits of vitamin D is mood. So basically what you have to use is basically use what's given to you and use your environment, which is basically it's telling you to boost your melatonin as opposed to supplement with vitamin D, which only is accessible. True vitamin D is accessible through the sun. It's the best way to get it. So, like I said, if you're trying to get vitamin D in the sun right now, don't wear glasses. Have as much skin exposed as you can. And if you have darker complexion, you need 3 times more sun. And if you're in the winter, start to boost your melatonin. So, follow the season essentially that you're in, and get really in tune with infrared lights. You can buy them off Amazon. You can change your room light, and then just start adjusting things to boost your melatonin, as opposed to fighting against it and basically turning on artificial lights and ruining things for yourself. So, anyways, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. You can find me on Instagram as well. Like I said, I help people and clients with what I've learned through nutrition to basically beat inflammation, also reverse autoimmune conditions, and live drug free and not depend on the system. So, more videos coming daily. Hope you guys are well. Follow this advice. This is actually really, really revolutionary. Keep emphasizing this, but watch the video that I'll link below. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. I'll put my Instagram as well. Other than that, I wish you guys all the best of luck and keep killing it.